Welcome to As the Story Grows. I'm Brian Patton. Today we welcome UNFD artist Reece Young to the podcast. Reece released a handful of singles and has an EP coming later this year. Reece talks about growing up in New Jersey, deciding to be a solo artist, the plan with UNFD, finding his fan base, and more. Thanks so much for checking out this episode of As the Story Grows. If this is your first episode of the podcast, welcome. Thanks so much for listening. You can find links in the show notes to our asthestorygrows.com for our Discord server, mailing list, and our Patreon page. Patreon members at the $1 a month level get early access to every episode. Come hang out. And if you aren't already subscribed to the podcast, go ahead and smash that subscribe button wherever you get your podcast. I would appreciate it. Over on YouTube, we got a brand new comment on chapter 500 with Chris from Moths to Flames. Nick said, after releasing this masterclass of an album, he can do whatever he wants. This album is a bases loaded home run, a walk-off KO win. The fan base really is looking forward to hearing this new material live. Great interview. Thanks for that comment. I appreciate it. Speaking of Moths to Flames' new album, before we jump into the interview, I just want to highlight a few records that I've connected with recently that have either meant something to me or I've just enjoyed a lot. And let's start with Moths to Flames. That record, The Cycles of Trying to Cope, is an incredible metalcore record.
What is a shepherd without a front to slide? Others are scared. Other motives with the earth found. Goddess like a dragon will lay down. The nature of country ways. Put me in the fucking ground.
I've listened to it a bunch of times now. I got to listen to it before chatting with Chris. I've listened to it since chatting with Chris. I listened to it yesterday at the time of this recording, and it just blew me away. It continues to blow me away. It's an absolute bomb of an album. I'm a huge fan of that record, so make sure you check it out. Up next, I want to talk about the brand new Fu Manchu record, The Return of Tomorrow, which is out today. It's big fuzzed out guitar riffs, and that works for me. In a lot of ways, I'm pretty simple, and I think this comes up a lot as I talk about these albums I love. There are just certain genres and certain sounds that stick with me, and I'm like, oh, I really dig that, and the band's a good band. So on their 14th album, Fu Manchu just deliver a phenomenally fuzzed out stoner rock record that I think people will like a lot. If you like maybe bands like Torched, but I think if you like Fu Manchu, you're going to like this Fu Manchu record. So check that out. It is out today. Another record I really like, French band Alcest with Les Chants de l'Aure. I'm probably fucking that up. I taught myself French for a little bit, but not well enough to speak it well. This is a French black gaze band. This record is out next Friday. And it's a black gaze album, but I think leaning more on the shoegaze side than the black gaze side. The way I would describe it is if there was a transition record for Deaf Heaven before Infinite Granite, where they slowly brought in more of the shoegaze atmospheric sound instead of just completely going that route. That's kind of what this record feels like to me, while also not being like Deaf Heaven at all. Just a phenomenal record. I think if you like bands like Nothing and Deaf Heaven, you will dig this record a lot. So check it out. Next up is a band that I came across on Bandcamp, Chagall. Their EP is called Witches, and it is just a phenomenal record. Chagall's from Toronto. This is kind of a death doom record, heavy sludge. Just a great EP. You can name your own price, so there's no reason not to check it out. I will make sure I put a link in the show notes to this EP because I think more people should hear it. It's a killer record that I listened to while I was traveling on Japan, and I listened to it when I came back, and it's really good. Another record in the stoner rock category that I like is the brand new record from High Desert Queen called Palm Reader. It's like Fu Manchu, fuzzed out stonery riffs, and that is a genre I like a lot. So that's just a handful of records for you guys to check out and spend a little time with this weekend or next week, and just, enjoy the new music that is being released all the time. Honestly, I'm way behind on listening to new releases and upcoming releases that are currently on my computer that I've just not dove into yet. I lost 2 weeks in Japan and didn't really listen to music while we were on vacation, and came back and I've slowly been getting into it, but I've been spending a lot of time listening to audiobooks too. And so I'm trying to work through all these albums and releases and just enjoy the wealth of material we have. I hope everybody enjoys getting to know Reece Young.
Am I afraid to go? Where am I supposed to know that I
I got married, I had a cat, my wife had a dog. We tried to make it work for a little while, but the cat lost out, and the cat went to live with my mom.
Oh, that sucks.
And I was like, oh, now that dog died, but now we have another dog.
Sorry to hear that.
My wife's hatred for cats went out, and it's fine. I mean, like, I love the dog. It's my dog now because I'm home all the time. So
Yeah.
my wife's mad. She's like, the dog only listens to you. I'm like, oh, sorry. This is life.
Yep.
Yeah. Welcome. You're from New Jersey?
Yeah, from New Jersey.
Where in New Jersey?
South Plainfield.
Okay. Where is that in relation to?
Kind of like central.
Okay.
I identify as central.
Okay.
Jersey. So yeah, I live in Nashville now, but I'm from Jersey originally.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's like New Jersey that's associated with New York, and New Jersey that's associated with Philly. And
not Philly. No.
The rest of it, not Philly.
Never Philly.
Oh man, I lived in Philly for 6 years. It was great. I love Philly.
Yeah, they're just very mean sports fans. So
yeah, they were not as mean as I thought they've mellowed, at least when I was there.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough being like a New York sports fan and going to Philly.
Yeah, there's no love lost for New York. So.
Yeah.
What was growing up like?
Yeah, it was fun, man. I mean, I played a lot of hockey, so did a lot of traveling, and was a big Devils fan, so I saw the Flyers and Devils play all the time, and would see a lot of. That was kind of my first taste of the Philly rivalry stuff. So it was cool. It was fun. It made growing up fun.
Yeah, is that like the Marty Brodeur era of the team growing up? Yeah,
the peak Devils teams when they were winning like all their cups and stuff was when I got into it. So
nice. That's awesome. What led you then to music from hockey? Because there's always that flip where sports lose.
Yeah, I was like I kind of I was a junior in high school, and I was kind of faced with like this Like, do I go play like low Division 2, Division 3 hockey, or do I go to school in Nashville and try and figure music out? And I went with option 2, and I'm glad I did, because I would end up in some random shitty city playing hockey
Right.
and then doing nothing with it after college. So
Right. Or at best, you're in like Wheeling, West Virginia in the ECHL.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly. So
like shit. Yeah. What initially got you into music and to playing?
I always just kind of felt like music had an effect on me in some way, more so than most, especially growing up in the hockey type environment where people weren't necessarily like super passionate about music.
Okay.
And I always felt like it had kind of called to me in a certain way. And going to live shows was like my favorite thing ever to do. And it took until about high school to realize I should try and do it myself. So, yeah, that was kind of the gist of it.
Nice. What were like bands or genres or scenes that you were drawn to?
My first ever show was the All American Rejects.
Okay.
That was fun. But I was big on Fall Out Boy and 21 Pilots, and seeing 21 Pilots live was kind of the reason I got into live music. Just the way that they kind of encapsulate the performance aspect of it, and really making it feel like an experience, not just kind of watching people play music, which is what we try to do with our shows too. So
yeah, that's cool. What was the scene like there in Central Jersey? Like, was it easy to like try to start bands and play with people, or was it just like a struggle?
Yeah, it was fairly non-existent. When I moved to Nashville, it was different.
Yeah.
It was everybody here. So, yeah, I've been here like 8 years now.
Nice.
And I really like it. So,
nice. At what point did you decide that you were going to pursue music kind of as a solo artist and not like in a band setting?
I think it was right away. Because I kind of grew up with some friends in bands, and I would watch them fight and ruin their careers and make no money and stuff like that. So it was just kind of like, it looked like a lot of drama, and I was like, well, if I can do it myself, I think that's the way to go. And I can still stay true to my sound if I work with the right people.
Yeah.
And it's been good so far. So we play, I mean, obviously with a band live, but and everything else is just kind of me. So
Nice. Your first single came out in 2021. Did you kind of use the pandemic to try to work on crafting songs, and like, did that kind of give you the space to push this music career out there? Or?
Yeah. So the secret behind that is I was putting music out a long time before that too. It just fucking sucked. So
you just scrubbed the internet of all your old shit.
It was just ass. So I got rid of it. Honestly, that song in 2021 still being up is shocking. But yeah, no, I've been putting stuff out since I started. So it's just, I've kind of landed on a sound that I really want to stick with now. And that other stuff didn't quite live up to my expectations for what I'm trying to achieve. If people look me up and listen to that stuff, like, I don't want that to be their first impression.
Yeah.
So I deleted a shit ton of it. It was all bad. So it was, you got to start somewhere type of energy.
Yeah. You go through phases of it's just like trying to figure out what you want to do. And
but I think COVID was cool. Like, it gave me a lot of time. Like, I was literally, the government was paying my bills. So it gave me a lot of time to kind of figure some shit out and stuff like that. But really came into it, like, I think kind of found my sound like last year with that song Endless Riots was the one that kind of got assigned and everything. So
On my own, stuck in disarray, killing time till I know I'll end up gray. Cloudy eyes, smile on my face when it fades away.
how'd you get connected with Adventure Cat?
they literally found me on Spotify and DM me on Instagram, and they were awesome. And then ultimately that led to getting signed by UNFD. So it's been a cool progression, a little ladder.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it just like your stuff on Spotify that UNFD found you, or were you pursuing bigger opportunities?
Yeah, I was actively pursuing bigger opportunities, but they hit me up like so my producer also produces a band on UNFD, and he posted up my shit on his story, and they saw it and asked about it, and the rest is history. So
Nice.
yeah, it was cool.
That's cool. You put out a couple singles so far. Yeah, Endless Riots and what's the most recent one here?
Am I wrong?
Yeah. What's been the process of like releasing music? I know I talked to, I believe, Unpeople's on the label too, like releasing, music in small batches to start to get your name out there. But what's that process been like with the label and communication of like trying to introduce yourself to the world?
Yeah, it's been cool. I mean, they've been super receptive to like the plan that I wanted to do. I'm just kind of trying to waterfall singles and try and do better with each one that I put out. So they've been very receptive to that and down with the plan. And it's been a good relationship so far. So I'm excited about it. This last one got on Octane, so we're slowly working our way up. But it's a grind, man. It's a grind.
What's the process like? There seems to be a shift in labels and bands and how they want to release music and attack the market. Like, have you come with them with like that idea for singles, or is it a collaborative process of they're like, okay, we want an album at this point, or like?
They were cool because I pretty much when we were working on trying to sign something, I was like, I want to do 2 EPs and then having like an artist option to come back.
Okay.
Well, I signed a pretty artist friendly short-term deal. And that's where we're at. I mean, we finished, the first EP, the rest of the songs drop in August, and I record the next one next week. So
nice.
We'll be all wrapped up hopefully by the end of the year, and we'll see where we are at after that.
Nice. Are you looking to take this project on the road, or are you waiting for like an EP in the fall?
We just got off the road. We were on the road for like a week with that band Avoid, who I really love, and it was pretty cool. That was like my first like agent booked run that we did. Still working on becoming like super legitimate touring, but again, we only have 3 singles out, so it's kind of hard for them to sell me. But that tour was awesome.
Nice. What is your ideal audience as you're looking to play? Yeah, Am I Wrong was on Octane. You have this kind of really this great blend of like hard rock, but also really strong hooks and pop sensibilities. Like, what's your market audience? Are you just open to whoever finds your music, or is there like a lane and like a touring path you want to try to grasp onto? Yeah, no,
my goal is like, I don't really make music for myself. It's for like the listener. When I was at my lowest points, like hearing music really helped me. So when I write, try to write and keep all the meanings really ambiguous so people can take the words and treat them however they want. In terms of like audience, I don't really, if the songs help you, like come to a show and I would love to meet you. So yeah, not definitely open to anything. I guess we have heavier stuff sometimes, but I do have like, I try to keep the hooks pretty poppy and rhyme schemey.
Yeah, it seems like post-COVID there's more artists kind of blending genres, and like that pop element is making its way into heavier music, or maybe the heavier element is coming into rock a little more again.
Yeah. So it's cool. I'm trying to do both. I'm excited to track the new stuff next week. I'm writing it with some pretty heavy hitters, so I'm stoked.
Nice. When it comes to writing ambiguous like lyrics, was like poetry and writing something you were always into, or is that something you kind of had to learn and grow into as a writer?
It was always something I was into, but I was never good at it. So I think learning and growing into it was big, and kind of finding my own process. I'm excited to see what happens going forward. We're in a really good spot, and I'm excited to just kind of put my head down and make songs that I'm passionate about. So.
Am I wrong?